Right, we'll be seeing the join method now. This is a simple syntax of join method. We will be writing thread 1, that is the object of your thread class, dot join method. Now, what is your join method in threads is, it will give the complete control for that particular thread which is performing or which is asking for a join operation. So it makes sure that if at all consider that I am writing t1 dot join, your T1 will be executed till it's completely done. That is, it will execute its full, and then only it can hand over that particular control to the another threads. Control in the sense to the CPU to the another threads. So what is your join operation is join in thread. It is like this. It is in the thread class, and it will allow one thread to wait until another thread completes its execution. So till the that particular method, that particular thread completes its execution, it will not give the control to another threads. So that is what you mean by your join operation. So we can see a simple program here. Other than this, you are having some properties like your get name and get ID, which we have seen in the initial class. Now I am having one program join example which extends thread, and you are having the run method. In the run method, what we are doing, we are writing the current thread dot get name, which is currently executing, and current thread dot get id, what is the id generated by the system, and you are printing the value of your I as well. This is the run method. Now in the main method, what we are doing is we are creating three threads. Join example, for this particular class only we are creating three threads. This is also okay, right? So we can earlier classes we were creating a class which extends thread, and we are creating an object for that, and we are considering that that is one thread. Now here we are having only one class which is extending thread, and yet what we can do, we can create some three threads. Some we are creating here some three threads here. So join example T1, new join example T2, T3. Now we are checking whether your T1 is alive or not. This is one more property which we are checking, and we are calling your T1 dot start. Right, T1 is alive. Will give you whether the thread is alive or not. True or false value it will be generating. So T1 dot start I am calling. So when I call your T1 dot start, what will happen? Your T1 will run. So T1 invokes the run method. Now, in meanwhile, before executing any part of the code, when it comes to your main function again, what will happen? It is calling T1 dot join. Join cannot be just like that written. Similar to your wait function join. Suppose consider that I'm not placing in your join function in your try and catch blocks, then you will be getting an error, right? So your join should be placed mandatory in your try and catch block. Suppose consider I am removing this one try. I'll remove this either, and I'll be commenting this one. So I want to show you that what is the error which you will be getting or which you will be encountering if at all I don't put your join in your try and catch block. So you can see that it is unhandled exception, right? Unhandled exception it is. Right. So what is the solution now? Give a try and catch block. Similar to your wait. Wait also, if at all you are just writing the wait, then it also will raise an error. Syntax error it is. Right. So I have surrounded your join with your try and catch block. So T1 dot join. When I call this particular T1 dot join, until your T1 is executed to its complete thing, this will not, that control will not pass to your T2 nor T3 also. So what is this? This is one way of controlling your threads, right? Because of your concurrent execution of the programs, you don't know what is the actual output or what is happening over there. So the best way to control is, like, if at all you think that T1 should be given highest priority, we were seeing your priority was also like that. If at all I give the highest priority, that whole thread will be executed, and then only the other priority threads will come into the picture. Now here T1 dot join, when I give a join operation, will make sure that your T1 will be executed to its whole, and then only the control will be given to the other threads. So T1 dot join, when I write, your T1 dot join will execute completely, and then only your T2 or T3 or your main function comes into the picture. So now again I have given T2 dot start and I have given T2 dot join, right? T2 dot join. So again it is surrounded by your try and catch blocks. Now last one, again T3 dot start, I started and I am calling a join function. That is the best option. Again T3 dot join. So now in this case you can easily expect the output. T1 will completely execute the run method, and then only your T2 will completely again execute the run method, and then again your T3 will come into the picture and it will execute its whole. So in order to control the execution of your threads, you can use your join. Join operation is the simplest operation. It is like your, you don't have any, you will be giving the highest priority to your threads, and you will be executing. executing the threads till its whole. Now you can see the output here. So first one is alive. Before start, if it is your thread alive? No. Obviously, it will give you the false one. Now your t1 dot start is invoked. So your run method is actually is invoked. Now because you are giving t1 dot join, what will happen? Your t1 will run to its completely. So you can see why I printed your current thread is in order to know the information about the thread which is being executed. So what is the current thread? Main thread name will be main directly. The first thread name will be thread hyphen 0, next will be thread hyphen 1, next will be thread hyphen 2, and so on. So now what will happen? The first one is alive is giving you false. Once it starts only, the thread is alive. The alive state is alive will fetch you the true or false answer. So once before start, it is always in the dead state. That is, it will always return you the false, though it is in the newborn state. Right. Now t1 dot join I am giving. So t1 dot join will call your run method. It will execute. What are you printing? For I equal to 1 to I less than or equal to 5. That is 5 times. You are printing the name, you are printing the ID, and you are printing the I value. See here, thread 0. ID is your 12. Thread 0 is the name of this particular thread. Next ID is giving as 12. And what is the value of your I? 1. Now, the second time I is equal to 2. So what is the thread name? Thread 0. What is the ID? It is 12 and the I value is 2. Third time, again thread 0, 12 and the value is 3. Again fourth time, again fifth time. Done. Now it comes and it starts your t2 dot start. And immediately after starting the t2 dot start, what you have done? Again I am giving t2 dot join. So what will happen now? Again now it is a second, your t2 chance. So again for 5 times, now you can see here. This whole thing is for your thread 0. Now thread 1 has started. Thread 1, that is t2. What is the ID it is generating? 13. And what is the value of your I1? Next time, what will happen? I equal to 2. Same get name will be thread hyphen 1. You can see this one. And your ID is 13. ID is 13 and the value is 2. Again, for the third run, thread 1, ID is 13, 3. Thread 1, ID is 13, 4. Thread 1, ID is 13, 5. Now, next one, what will happen? You are giving t3 dot join. T3 dot start, it will invoke that and it may jump to your main function and t3 dot join. So what will happen? Now t3 will execute completely. Now you can see clearly like t1 is executed, then t2 is executed, then t3 is executed. If I just don't do this join operation, what will happen? We were seeing in the initial class. Partly your t1 will be executed because they all stand at the same priority. The other way of doing this is set highest priority to any of the thread. Again, it will execute to its whole, right? But if at all I am not setting any priority, all the threads will be at the same priority. That is, at the normal priority, it will be 5. So main T1, T2, T3 will interleavely execute and it will be giving you the result. So maybe it will be something like the first one is okay, false. T1 dot start, it may execute for I equal to 1, I equal to 2, and it comes and it executes T2. T2 will again execute some 1 to 2, 3 times, and again it goes, the control is given to T3 and so on. But now if you can see that the output is clear, like T1 followed by T2 followed by T3. So this is how your join operation will control the concurrent execution of your threads.